Yo, what's up? What's up? It's the one and only hip hop gamer, Hot 97, Logitech G. Oh my God, second extinction is going down, son. This is how you set it off, man. So, one, I'm very excited. You know what I'm saying? I got some special people on the show today. You know what I mean? So, first off, I'm gonna let y'all introduce yourselves. But before y'all introduce yourselves, there is a bit, of a history. So first off, thank y'all for being here. It's crazy. So God bless y'all. You can start, Jay. Let them know who you are and what you do, and then we'll go with you, Bradley.
Right. Hi, everyone. I'm Jerome. I'm the PR and influencer manager here at Systemic Reaction, division of Avalanche Studios Group, where we're working, among other things, on Second Extinction.
Woo!
Uh, Hi, I'm Brindley Gibson. I'm the lead producer for Second Extinction. Yeah.
Oh man, so yo, let's jump right into it, man. So look, everybody sitting down, inside Xbox comes on, and we see this dinosaur game, and immediately, as a hardcore, fan of games, we all thought about Turok and how much we missed, that franchise back in the day, and to see this and shooting up the dinosaurs, we like, yo, finally something like, has come back to the industry, you know what I'm saying? Like something like this. So first off, what was the inspiration? Like behind the title, like did Turok have any inspiration on y'all, or what was the inspiration period? Seeing this game.
Sure. Well, first of all, Turok wasn't actually an inspiration, and it's
Oh,
only since the announce we're like, oh man, we've sort of missed a trick here. All these people are talking about Turok. I used to play Turok on my N64. I loved that game, man. It was awesome. You get the extra memory you could put in. Anyway, yeah, great stuff. But only since the announce, we're like, oh wow, okay, what is it about Turok? And obviously, it's shooting, and I think it's the violence. But it wasn't really a touchstone for us. I think more Left 4 Dead in an open world setting with dinosaurs would be more of a kind of direction we took. The original concept actually came from Avalanche's founder, Christopher Sundberg, and he just had this idea, which was like, evil mutant dinosaurs have taken over the Earth, and that was kind of it. That was like the elevator pitch, the high level. Run with that. And obviously, you can do a lot with it. And I have to say, this concept, both with talking to other devs to try and get them to join our project, to come and be part of the team, talking to platform holders, we say that line when we first show the game to people, and we just get this great moment where they think for a second, it's like a millisecond, and then this big grin pulls up on their faces, and they
mm,
just go, yeah, yeah. And what's been amazing since the announce is seeing that reaction has been with the public as well. So that's
yeah.
been very heartening for us. We've been secretly beavering away on this game, and now suddenly all these people are like, we want to see that too. We want to see evil mutant dinosaurs and loads of blood and massive guns and big explosions. So yeah, we're super happy about that.
Dope, man. So the story of Second Extension. One thing about me, like I play everything. I play all types of games, but I'm really big on story. Like I really love feeling like I'm connected with what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So I know, dinosaurs, take over Earth. But is there anything else to the story that you could like at least share with us right now to get us even more excited to experience the game?
Okay, well, I mean, this is a game I would say focused on action, and the story really enables us to create these scenarios to get the players into it. There is a background, a tale of
Okay.
how it came to be, what happened, but actually, when we join the game, like when we launch this game, there's going to be an element of mystery, and that's kind of, I
Mm.
guess, first season, a bit of the question. This is the first time mankind has come back to the Earth. We've actually this group of survivors that you get to play. They've been living in this space station for around 5 years, and they managed to get off Earth, and they don't really know what else is happening. So that's how we start things off. And as we come back down, we want to see, are there other survivors out there? What happened? And we don't really even understand where these dinosaurs came from. I mean, it's crazy, man. Dinosaurs are extinct. Now they're
Wow.
back and they're killing us. Like, what happened? And this is going to be a live game. We've got some big plans for how we're going to grow and evolve the game. And that story, what happened, how it happened, that's going to be revealed over time as we sort of add and grow this title.
That's crazy. So, so this question is more of a two-parter. you just said this is gonna be a live game. So can you like
Mm.
dive a little bit deeper in terms of what you mean by it being a live game, and also the multiplayer component? I see the co-op and stuff like that,
Mm.
but will there be a multiplayer like component like overall besides just playing with somebody, but playing against like your other peers and friends and stuff like that online?
Okay, so I'll deal with the second bit first, if that's all
Okay.
right. So it is 1 to 3 player. It's always online. So you
Okay.
can go down to the planet's surface on your own and take on a mission, uh, which will be very, very tough if you go in an area that has a lot of dinosaurs. Or you can team up with 2 other friends and go in. There isn't a PvP element. It's all you versus the dinos. Okay.
Oh,
Um,
got you. Okay.
so yeah, and it's all about collaboration, working together, whether that's by tactics, working out the best way to defeat the enemies, or by using your different abilities and payloads together as a team to take them out and be as efficient as possible, and get the most rewards, and then use those rewards to power yourself up, and then come back into the game again. Uh, and the other part of your question was like the live game.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and this has actually been one of our pillars developing the game. We wanted to have evolution. How do we change this game after we come out for players? Now, it's not just about adding content. Like, obviously, most games, now we're adding maybe some more missions, maybe some more enemies. Sure, that is definitely in the plan. We want to expand it and expand the experience that players have. But actually, we have another aspect of the game that I'm not going to really tell you about. I'm just going to tease you about.
Okay.
And it's a feature called the war effort. And it allows us to have a direct relationship with players. So from day one, their actions in the game is going to change how the game plays over time. And that's all I'm kind of teasing you with. We're going to talk about it more in the future, but it's pretty cool, and it's a true live experience. So it's a direct in-game relationship with the players of the game.
Yo, I'm done. Yo, I listen. I know we social distancing right now, but I just gave you a hug. I just had, yo, you're gonna get a lot of hugs throughout this interview. Oh man, yo, that's crazy. All right, cool. So now, one thing I want to talk about is now I know you said there was no PvP, and that's fine, but you know, here's something that I think is interesting, and this is just me speaking from a fan standpoint, looking at the game. Um, is there like a creator character mode? Like creator player like mode in this game. The only reason why I asked is because when you spoke about the story and how the story would like open up and evolve,
Mm.
it doesn't seem like it's centered around like the main character. Like what I'm saying? It's pretty much centered around the way y'all just play together and enjoy the experience. Does that mean that we would have like the opportunity to like create our own look or even like customize our weapons and stuff like that? Because that's what I really wanted to know about too, like the type
Okay.
of weapons we gonna have in the game as well.
So when we launch the game, we're going to have these 4 different characters that you can play. So
Okay.
they are a preset character,
Okay.
and these characters, they come from all around the world. That's something we wanted to get across, that it's a global conflict. So it's these are survivors, right? They're not soldiers. These
Gotcha.
are not like people. It's more like you're joining this kind of paramilitary force, so to speak. And so they had lives beforehand, before the extinction event happened. And now they're kind of retrained and they're coming back down to the earth to fight. And this roster of characters, we want to add more characters in time. And each character sits within 3 classes. So there's like a support class, a heavy class, and a more sort of generalist class. But the characters, sorry, I should say, those classes designate what kind of weapons you can use, what kind of kit you can get, and payloads you can get and unlock. Then each character itself has their own abilities. And we use the abilities both as a way of encouraging collaboration, like, oh, if I do this, that I can use this ability that slows down dinosaurs, let's say. You can then use that big heavy grenade attack while they're kind of incapacitated. So that's one part of the abilities. The other part is, can we tell a little bit about the character's personality through their abilities? So one of our characters is called Rosie. and she is a kind of very lovable character. She's a real team player, so
All
she has
right.
a kind of buffing ability. That's what she likes to do. So she can sort of G the team up and give them a bit of a buff and encourage them. So when you load out to go into a mission, you pick one of these four characters. You then pick a primary and a secondary weapon. You pick a type of grenade, and you also get to pick your payload. Now, I mentioned the coming in and out of space thing earlier.
Yeah.
Well, this means you are through the world. You are sending stuff back up to space. So if you find some kind of precious resource, you can sort of tag it and send it back up. But also, if you want help, it has to come. So if you end up in a cave or inside, you can't get your payload sent down to you because there's rock
Yeah.
above you. So you have to think: are we ready to go into this tunnel? Like, do we have all our ammo? Oh no, okay, let's call down a payload. Let's get ready, and then you sort of kit up in mission and then go down to that tunnel.
Yo,
So
I
it's
can't
the
wait to play
loadout.
this game, son. Yo, the way you talk about it, I keep going, keep going, keep going.
I just say that so the loadout before you go in is hugely important. You got to think, what do we need as a team, right? So you're all kind of chatting to each other in the lobby screen, going, "Well, I'm going to bring this. Could you bring that?" And that means we've got a good spread of things. We should be okay to do this specific mission. And you asked about the weapons. There's a whole bunch of different weapons in the game. You can upgrade these weapons. So that's, I guess, a key part of our metagame loop is you want to get research points, which is our kind of equivalent of
Yeah.
XP, and you use those to kind of buy new weapons and unlock the next ones along the chain. But you also get to harvest the dead dinos, and you get given these some sort of rare materials from the dead dinos as well, and you sort of transfer those over, and that allows you to do the upgrades. And those upgrades range from simple kind of buffing stats as you'd imagine to more exotic things. So you can take your shotgun, let's say, and you can say it's all going to be about destroying armor and dealing massive damage. Or no, I just want to make it better generally, and I want to make a generalist weapon. And this is not a kind of one-way street. You can retool your weapon as much as you like. Once you've unlocked the different things, you can go back to the armory screen and you can tweak and fiddle and move it around. And that way, each time you jump into the world, you're adjusting your payload, your kit, and everything you're taking down with you. To get the
Wow.
best results.
This game is crazy. Yo, listen, man. Like, I just appreciate y'all work. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially in these times, just I really appreciate the grind, the hard work. Like, I can't wait to play this game, yo. Especially the way you explained it. It's crazy. So, my next question is this: is this exclusive to Xbox, meaning that we won't see this on PlayStation?
So what we've done at the moment, we've announced that we're coming out on PC, and we're coming out on the current and the next generation of Xbox.
Okay.
So that's what we're talking about right now.
All right, cool. So now, what I would like to talk to you about, and I think like fans wanted to try to understand as well, is it's tough getting ready for a launch. You know what I'm saying? Even from a software standpoint, it's tough getting ready for a launch. What do you feel from a development standpoint? What do you feel has been like the most impressive um part of like the Xbox Series X? You know what I'm saying? What's been the most impressive to you to make your vision of the game come to life? You know what I'm saying? We hear so much about the T-flops, we hear so much about the
Mm.
SSD, but you in particular and your team, what has been the most impressive thing on the Xbox Series X that got y'all like, wow, we can't wait for players to play this game?
Well, we in terms of specific feature support, that kind of side of things, we're going to be talking about that in the near future. But in general terms, one, it's always exciting to be close to a launch. Like when new hardware is coming out and you're bringing something early in the life cycle of that, that is super exciting. Just to be in that in the flow. So
Yeah.
as a fan, that's nice, to be tied up with that. And in previous roles I've had, yeah, that's always tough because it's new stuff, it's fresh, it's coming out. There's always sort of new things you have to adapt to, but also the rush of being there on the edge. In terms of what it allows us as creatives is obviously more power, but that is in many ways that's just a tool, and it's sort of less sexy for me to talk about those kind of things like, oh, it allows us to do this and this. But in summary, what it gives us is the ability just to throw more action on the screen, right? That kind of over the top spectacle. We want to have, dinosaur guts and brains. That should look even more incredible on, the next generation.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. So now, one of the questions that a lot of the community had when they first saw this game was, like, was what we saw in that trailer, was that what we gonna get? Like when we like buy our Xbox Series X's like later this year, like will it look like that, or will it look like even better than like what we saw? Because on the screen it said like expected to. So I wasn't sure if it was running on PC or if it was actually running on Series X hardware in terms of what you showed. But can you at
So
least, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, the so that was real gameplay footage. I mean, that was literally captured from people playing the game. Apart from the UI had been turned off, so it was 100% real.
Yes.
We want the game to look uh, even better than that at launch in certain ways, like without going into too much specifics.
Okay.
Um, but it's that's an ongoing process as we work towards finishing the game up. We're always trying to polish and tweak and just take things further bit by bit.
Okay, got you. So now, one thing I want to ask you is, and and this is more like of the business side of everything. How does like Xbox Game Pass like benefit y'all as a business to get the word out or get more people like to play your game? Like, how does Xbox Game Pass fit into that? Because I'm pretty sure, well, hopefully we will see this game get on Game Pass. But from a business standpoint, if y'all can speak to it, how does that platform help y'all grow?
Um, that's a bit. I can't. Don't know what.
I think, I mean, when it comes to the business side of things, there are quite a few things that we can't really sort of commit to in speaking about at this point in time. I mean, in a general sense, as gamers, we appreciate Game Pass. We like it a lot. I mean, it enables a lot of people to play a lot of games that they may otherwise not be able to play. So we love the fact that there's a lot of reach out there when it comes to Game Pass, and we like the fact that it evolves over time as well with the new systems and so forth. But at the same time, we wait and see like everybody else.
Got you. So now, what I want to ask y'all, and this is more of a question for the audience to understand and give y'all more respect, for the work that y'all do. So, what was some of the biggest challenges, in developing, this game and getting it up and running to the state that it's in? You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Like, I would love to know that because those are the things like those nights when you like really trying to figure something out to make sure the fans is happy, and the fans be like, well, they don't care about it because they don't know about it. You know what I'm saying? So what's what's some of the big challenges? Because I can imagine as game developers, I know you have those moments where you like, you know what? I get away from me, get out. I'm trying to fix this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like those moments. So what's some of the big challenges that y'all had with getting this game up and running?
Well, I kind of a very high level thing is just the fact that we built a team around making this game. So, games are collaborations, different skills, different personalities, different people's backgrounds. And we built a team specifically to make this game. And that in itself is a challenge, learning to get to know each other, how to work together, what makes people tick. It's a really human thing, that collaboration. And that is how most games are made, and it's those people coming together and bouncing off each other ideas. That's where the magic can really happen. So building the team from scratch whilst making the game, that's definitely a tough thing to do in a dev. In terms of more sort of technical things, well, I guess, well, this is more of a design challenge, really. Is we were trying to take so our heritage, of course, like Systemic Reaction is part of Avalanche Studios Group, and Avalanche Studios is known for making open world games.
Yeah,
And
of
with Second
course.
Extinction, we're not talking about this as an open world game. We're saying this is a big map game because it's not the size of the worlds that you might expect from Avalanche Studio. You're all on foot, and this is a much more compressed experience. And there are reasons how we got to that point. And we primarily have melee versus ballistic. Players are ballistic, shooting guns, and the enemies are mainly melee. And that works great in an enclosed space. But if you bring that into a more open environment, as you'd expect from an open world, go anywhere, well, how do you do that? So as a design challenge, getting that balance right of the dynamic elements of open world where you can go anywhere, things spawn depending on where you are, time of day, that kind of thing, and getting a great combat experience, the sort of the hand level design, that was definitely a challenge. And yeah, the design team, I think, have really knocked it out of the park and found just the right point in between those two different skills.
Crazy. So this is more of a two-parter question. One, I saw like just in some of the images, y'all have so many different levels of like dinosaurs and like enemies that y'all gonna encounter, like from the look of everything. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So what I want to ask you is like how big like does like this go in terms of the enemies that you encounter? You know, we hear about the T-Rexes and all this other stuff. Like how big are y'all thinking and how big are y'all going in terms of the enemies that we gonna be facing and stuff?
Hmm.
And also, please, if you can answer this, like, because looking at that game, I really want y'all to hit 4K 60 FPS. Is like, are y'all far enough in development now to like be confident enough to say that we'll get that target in terms of 4K 60 for this game? And like I said, how big will the enemies get?
So I'll deal with the second part of it. Is we're not sort of announcing that information of like what we're hitting just yet, but
Okay.
we will be able to in the near future confirm what we're shooting for the game for
Okay.
sure. But as I said earlier, we are targeting a good range of different PCs, and we want from the highest end PCs down to a good size spec for everyone to have a fantastic experience with the game.
Okay.
So broad appeal, but if you do have that kind of like higher end, you should get a great looking experience as well. Absolutely. And in terms of the enemies, I mean, you're talking about physical size.
Yeah, yeah.
There
Like
are
how?
some bigger enemies on screen. I mean, we've gone for a kind of nice range.
Okay.
And by that I mean by having each enemy do something different on the battlefield. That means you get the most out of them. Now we're not a big team, right? We're a small team, so we can't make hundreds of different enemies.
Gotcha.
What we need to do is for have each one pay off. So we have a few different species of dinosaur. They're all evil. They're all mutants, even your base versions. But then we do further mutations, like more crazy mutations off the back of that. And so that way we have these kind of like subspecies happening. And some of these enemies are like cannon fodder, right? They come at you. It's crowd control. You got to mow them down, keep them away. But other ones you might have to chase after because perhaps they call in reinforcements. Perhaps they attack you from a distance, and they range in size. At the moment you can see in the sort of the video we released, we've got these kind of raptors which are bigger than a human, but they're you know our small enemy. And then we definitely have some bigger chaps come along, and we've taken. Let's say we are not using historical evidence about dinosaurs
Okay.
to make these. They there's a distinct lack of feathers, and if anything, they are mean looking, ooze dripping, whited eyes. They look gruesome.
Yeah,
So
I can't wait.
yeah, and there is a T Rex in the game for sure, and we think she looks pretty awesome.
I can't wait, man. So now this is more of a like a real hardcore fan question, right? And Jerome, you might have to be the one to take this one though. But is there like did y'all show like this game like behind the scenes to any of the people that like write or do the production of Jurassic Park at all? If because you know how you bro, come on, like you know how crazy that'd be if
Yeah,
y'all made
yeah,
if y'all made an announcement prior to launch saying that there's a partnership with Jurassic Park and because the game is live, like you get to have like special Jurassic Park dinosaurs drop in the game. Oh, bro, there's so much that can happen here. Yo,
No,
Jerome,
I mean,
talk to me, son.
I wish I could say something shady, you know, like I can neither confirm nor deny, but you know, these conversations have not happened. We really focus on making this our own, like the
Okay.
very best we can possibly do. You know, we leave it to the fantasy and the creative talent of a great artist to create, you know, the world, to create those enemies. So no, it's our own little baby, a
Oh, nice,
gruesome
nice.
little violent, bloody baby. So we can't wait to show more. We can't wait to showcase it to the world and show all of you more. But no, these type of communications or conversations have not happened. Even though, you know, I kind of, when I first saw the game, I also immediately thought of, you know, Jeff Goldblum coming along, you know, and talking about how life finds a way, etc. But you know, these kind of things, no, have not happened.
Got you. Because like I'm thinking about it from a standpoint where you could have like special guest characters. Like you know what I'm saying, that relate into the Jurassic Park world, and then you get into hardcore gamers, but then like people that may not know about the game, you bringing in all those fans to be a part of the game because there's something that's sentimental there because you got that deal. So it's just something that I thought about when I saw it, man. Because I like just from a fan standpoint, I thought that'd be crazy. So I got a couple more questions and we'll wrap it up. And like I said, I thank y'all so much. So I always like to ask, you know, like developers and stuff like that, like what got you into gaming? Like, you know, like overall for yourself, like where did the passion come from? What was that moment where you realized this is what I have to do for the rest of my life?
Well, so I've been making games for it's man, it's a quite a long time now. I want to say something like 17 years, something like that. You know, it's been a while. It's been a while, and I have to admit, I played games when I was very young, and I love games. I had, you know, a Game Boy. I think was, I would say, my first handheld, and then the SNES was definitely my first console. I remember that, and then from there, I pretty much, in fact, in another room over there, I have them all my consoles, my sort
Wow.
of little museum of consoles that I'm sort of permitted to have out. So always loved games, but I kind of fell into the industry. I didn't have any idea how you get into making games. And one of my very best friends, he actually started working. He quit his university degree and he was just like, I want to make video games. I'm going to do it. And he managed to get his job at a studio called Lionhead. And he started working on the
Oh,
original Black and White. And
oh,
I got to go and visit him, and I got to go into the studio, and I got to break the build. And I was like, this seems pretty awesome what these guys are doing. And it was a little while later, and I would say I was a little bit lost in life. I was sort of doing a couple of different jobs. I was kind of, yeah, running all sorts. I don't need to go into that. Running all sorts of different stuff here and there. And I was like, well, you know, I kind of want to make films. I kind of want to do something creative. And then my pal who was there, he's called Ollie. He said, man, why don't you just come and make games with us? Like, you know, we need people like you. Come along. And I just hadn't thought
wow.
about it. I was like, you know what? That would be that would be cool. And then I just did the normal thing. I applied and I did the interview, and I got given a job at Lionhead. And I worked on a game called The Movies, and then I got to run the expansion we made called Stunts and Effects. That was my first project. Got to sort of conceive it, run the team, you know, pitch it to Activision. It was fantastic experience, and then the journey went on from there. And they used to tease me. So one of the founders, Mark Webley, would always say, "Are you going to go and make movies?" Like he kept
Yeah.
saying it, and I would be like, "No, no, no. I'm going to keep making games. It's okay. It's okay." And yeah, here I am today, still making them, still playing them, you know, for fun. So it's great that my job is my hobby.
Wow, I love that, man. Great story, bro. So now, like, one thing I want to ask you is, and the reason why I want to ask you this because I learned so much about the engine. So I know Tim Sweeney came out with the Unreal Engine 5 reveal, right? But one of the things that he talked about was how it's going to help game development. You know what I'm saying? Like overall. One of the things that he talked about, and you was talking about earlier, how y'all is more of a small team. He was talking about how like when you making a game, you know how you got the LODs and stuff like that with the level of detail of characters, and you got to make these different characters and low poly, high poly for the way your game is designed. And now he was saying how you could just take something and from ZBrush drop it in, and it kind of a lot of stuff works automatically and stuff like that. Um, what was your thoughts on seeing that tech and what it means for you, but also what it means for like the industry going forward? Because looking at the game that you're building, I can only imagine what Second Extinction like two like would be
Mm.
considering. I mean, I believe this game will be a franchise. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the live component and the way you talked about it, I believe the audience is going to gravitate to y'all, and y'all going to have a lot of success. Seriously,
Thank you
I
very
really
much.
believe that. So my thing is, what I wanted to know is seeing just the technology go forward like that, and a lot of the time that it used to take to do certain things being cut in such a way
Mm.
that smaller teams can compete a little bit more and more fairly with the bigger teams. What was your impression seeing that Unreal Engine 5, and what does that mean for a developer like yourself going forward for this particular generation?
So, making games is this meeting of technology and creative, and that's one of the things that keeps it exciting. Like every 6 months, there's some kind of innovation, and you're like, "Oh my god, that's incredible!" That means we can do so much with sort of less people and less time. We can make a lot more, and it's constantly evolving. And yes, it allows teams to punch way above their weight. What you used to be able to do with 100 people, you can now do it with 10 people. That kind of thing I mean, it's also always awesome when new tech comes along, and we're constantly having to relearn and retrain and kind of keep to the edge. And in systemic reaction, we use the Avalanche internal tech, which is
Okay.
Apex Engine. So that's its own engine and own tool chain, and that is the engine that was used to make all the Just Cause games through and every game that Avalanche has made. And we obviously, yeah, it's great having our own in-house engine in that we get it to be whatever we need it to be. In
Okay.
our these are our self-published games. What we're doing in systemic reaction, so they're always live, they're always self-published, um, and we. The bigger company obviously makes these AAA, these massive AAA games as well, and those games really drive the tech. They drive technology, and we're sort of downstream from that, so we can take that technology and maybe do something slightly different with it. So this allows us, with quite a small team, to have the very best tech to make games which maybe see. I hate that. I really don't like the term AAA, but it's a thing that people talk about. But people who see the game and go, "Man, visually that is great. That looks fantastic." But we're not. We're a little team punching way above our weight.
Wow. Yo, that should be the article right there. You know what I'm saying? That should a little team punching above their weight. Yo, I love it. I love the way you said that. So I got two more questions, man, and I'll wrap it up. So,
Sure.
like, the next question, and a lot of people in the community, like, I guess they have this as a concern, but this game is going to be on Xbox One X as well as being on Xbox Series X and PC obviously. But from a console standpoint, is this game being like built from the ground up with the Xbox Series X in mind, or do or is it a situation where like it's cross-gen title, and if it is, does it hold you back from doing what you really want to do because you got to focus on making sure this works on Xbox One X? I think that's like a big question and a big concern of a lot of the gamers
Mm.
out there. So let me know.
Well, we're making a game for PC as well, and when
Okay.
you're making a PC game, you've got to look at the market and like, what cars do people have? What type of power of machines, and you've got to work out when we finish the game, what's going to be kind of average, what's going to be high end. You actually have to predict. You have to think forward
Wow.
to sort of guess that, and what's our min spec going to be. Um, those kind of questions, and they're tough questions. And we have to make a game that can scale, that can be played by lots of people, because we are a business, right?
Yeah.
We're selling
Yeah.
these games
Yeah. Of
ourselves,
course.
and so we want loads of people to play it. But we also want people who do invest in that in the latest hardware to be able to get a great looking experience, silky smooth gameplay. So it is always a balance, and this is a cross-platform game in terms of we're making it for multiple platforms, and for sure there are some compromises that come with that. If you were just doing one thing and shooting down one alleyway, uh, but that is the way for most games that are made. That's the reality of doing it.
Okay, I got you. I got you. And for my last question, and once again, man, this interview has been crazy. A lot of great information, a lot more information on the game. So this is something from looking at the game that even though I didn't see it, I was just wondering if it was there. But you talked about upgradable weapons. You talked about the characters and how the story is going to unfold and things become live. So I'm
Mm.
assuming that there's going to be new enemies that y'all create down the road, new things that's happen. Will this game evolve to the point where we will have like vehicle gameplay, or possibly get into like considering the time that we're in? Matter of fact, I didn't ask you that in terms of like what time are we in? Are we in
Mm.
2136? Like, what time, are we in? But my thing is, will we get a chance to expand to have vehicle gameplay? And the reason why I say that is because when you think about Left 4 Dead, like you mentioned earlier, and if you think about a game like Outriders that's coming out,
Mm.
if you think about Destiny, a lot of these co-op games and 3-person and all this other stuff, like Destiny got a vehicle, but like, you know, you mainly use it just to get from point A to point B. You're not really using it as like competitively, so to speak. Uh, what can we expect that in a game like this, and how like bloody and all the explosions? It'd be dope if we had some vehicle gameplay where we could escape some of the dinosaurs, set a trap, boom, blow everything up. I think that would be insane. Talk to me, man.
Well, I guess the beauty of making something like for live is that we can grow it and take it. And we do have plans of what we're going to do for, say, the first year or so. There's lots of stuff that we want to do, but also the community is going to play a big role in that. If we find
Mm.
people are playing the game in a certain way, we're going to be not, we're going to adapt our plans. We're going to change this game to work in partnership with the community and make something that we think is great and that they, think is great. And that's fantastic. The games now aren't made, sent, done, walk away from it. That's how it used to be. Now it's like launch is the start, really. It's like, here we go, here's the game. And now we can tweak it. We can, just kind of subtly move it around and add to it that will make it, you know, something perhaps it wasn't ever intended to be at the beginning. It can grow and develop over time. So that's very special. So there's there's definitely going to be more enemies, more characters, more weapons, more abilities. We're going to evolve the worlds as well. We're starting in this kind of tundra landscape, which is sort of slushy down south, but gets more snowy as you go north. But it also has these dino-infested caves, which is where they're
Mm.
kind of hiding out and laying loads of horrible, goopy eggs. But we want to expand the world. I talked about a global conflict. We want to move around the world in the future as well, show what the rest of the world looks like, and develop it.
Got you,
There
got
is
you.
there is a vehicle in this game, but it has a very specific device. It is not a playable vehicle, and this is our dropship. Um, and this is what you use to get into the world, and is also how you get out of the world. So um, it's kind of a cool feature in that after you've loaded up and got your team together, the host they get to pick where you go into the map. So you can see the objectives of the mission. You can also see how dangerous the different regions are. Uh,
I
so
got you.
so you could pick. You say, well, look, this is really dangerous, but it's really close to the objective. So if we go here, we're going to have to be fighting our way out, but at least we'll quickly get to the first objective. Or let's start further away where it's safer, and then we can sort of try and scavenge some ammo, that kind of thing, and then go into the mission. So that's the insertion, and then you kind of plummet to the earth. It's kind of a cool sequence that we got, and then once you've done your mission, you have to get back out again, and you have to go to an extraction point and call in your ship. And depending on how dangerous the area is, that can be relatively quick or might take some time. And the dinosaurs get alerted to what you're up to, and they are not happy. They're pissed. You've been shooting their eggs, you've been killing their brother, and like they are coming at you. So you have to kind of fight till the dropship gets there, and you have to get your whole team onto the ship and skedaddle out of there. So It's not really vehicles as you were talking about it, but that is our kind of one specific bit of vehicle we have in the game at the launch.
Got you. All right. Well, I see he said at launch. You never know. You never know. He said at launch. All right, we'll see. We'll see. So is it safe to say that this is a day and date title with with the Series X whenever Microsoft announces their launch date, or is it a launch window?
So we haven't talked about our actual launch date at the moment, and we're going to be talking about that really soon.
All right, cool. Yeah, I can't wait. And hopefully, I mean, I'm not sure, but before the summer's out, can we expect like another event? Because I know Jeff Keighley got the Summer of Games events. I know Microsoft got their event in July. Is there anything you could tell us that when we'll see like the latest, on second extension?
Jerome,
I can take that. So I don't know if you've seen that. It was out a while back, but IGN is doing the Summer of Games.
Yeah, I seen that too.
So on I believe it's the 8th of June, scheduled for now, where you will see some more gameplay.
That's what I'm talking about. And listen, I'm just telling you this like as a fan and as a friend. Please like just show like the raw like gameplay. I know there was clips and everything shown in the inside Xbox thing, but like we don't want just clips. Like we want somebody to actually play the game, or if we don't see you play it, we like and there's a video running, we want to see like the actual gameplay walkthrough. Like we want to see that because that's what's going to get us like excited and help us make our decision on getting this game. And like I told you, so many people related to Turok because we loved that game before. So this game is a hit like that. Yo, bro, you want to get new fans and nostalgic fans that want that type of dinosaur experience. You won't get everything, bro. So I'm just saying, like, yo, June 8th, if that's the date, come with it. Come with it. I'm telling you.
And there's something else we should say, which is there is a beta planned. And we're not talking about when exactly it's going to be just yet. But if you go to secondextinctiongame.com, it's possible to sign up for it and try and get it. It's limited numbers, but yeah, we want people to sign up, and yeah, then they're going to be able to get hands on with it.
Oh, word! Yo, that's crazy. All right, so there's going to be a beta, y'all. Make sure y'all sign up like now, like right now. Like, yo, that's crazy. Yo, I thank y'all so much, man. And listen, like Jerome, anything that y'all got going on, like behind the scenes, if I can help out, please let me know, man. Like my goal is to make sure y'all get y'all like just due on this title and everybody get excited for it, man. That's why I really wanted to talk to y'all. So it stood out to me when I saw the show and I was like, yo, I gotta reach out. And we already got history. You know what I'm saying? We got history on the the
VR Worlds.
Yeah, VR Worlds. We already got history on that one. So yo, that'd be dope. Like if for the sake of PC, because I know y'all didn't mention anything about PlayStation as a platform to be on, but the Oculus, like see, yo, that VR perspective with the dinosaurs, bro.
Man, you're not the first person to say that they want to kill dinosaurs in VR. I have to tell you, I think there's a gap in the market there for someone to pick that up for sure.
Come on, man. You know that'd be crazy though, right? Like, all right, I'm gonna get you next time. I'm gonna get you next time on that. So look, God bless y'all. Love y'all. This has been amazing. Is there anything that y'all want to say to the fans before we get out of here?
Sign up for the beta. More information on that coming soon. Watch the World Gameplay premiere. You won't be disappointed, I believe. I hope, but But yeah, no, man, we're excited. We're excited to share more very soon.
Yeah, and we'd love people to follow us on Twitter as Second Extinction. Then that's the best way to kind of find out what's going on with the game, start building that community, chatting with the devs, that kind of stuff.
That's what I'm talking about. So look, man, it's the one and only HipHopGamer, Logitech G, Def Jam Records, NBA 2K League on your Hot 9-7 every day. That's my word. Second Extinction. Get ready, baby. Peace. Yo, what's up? It's the one and only HipHopGamer, Hot 9-7, Logitech G. Oh my God, Second Extinction.